Hello and welcome to today's video. So this time we're going to be taking a look through 9 classic PlayStation 2 games running on the brand new emulator AetherSX2. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's get to it. So I'm running this one on my Samsung Galaxy Fold Z3, and I've connected my son's Xbox wireless controller via Bluetooth, and just propped up my my Galaxy Z Fold there, and working our way through the emulators. But I thought watching the games being played that way isn't exactly ideal, so I think you get a much better idea of how well these games run by using the inbuilt Samsung screen recorder. So that's exactly what I've done. So although it's a little bit smaller, you get a bit more accurate reading of sort of how well these games actually play. So I started off with quite an easy one, which is Capcom Fighting Evolution, and I do love all the classic sort of beat 'em up games. And for the actual gameplay footage, I gave my 15-year-old son a chance to play a lot of these games that he'd never even heard of. So he's a big gamer. He loves to game. It has been all his life. But he's not really played these old systems. He's played the original Xbox with me. We played quite a bit of that in lockdown. We went through the first 2 Halos together, and that was fantastic fun. But he's never really played these old PlayStation games before, so this was quite a new experience for him. Now, with regards to the settings of the app, everything is basically as it came out the box. I've not adjusted anything. But I am quite lucky in the fact that the Fold 3, the Z3, has got incredible processor inside. It's got the Snapdragon 888 processor. Certainly not the best now. That has already been superseded, but it is very, very powerful. The app, however, can run extremely well on phones equipped with about a Snapdragon 845 and above. So if your phone's got that in, you're going to at least be able to play a fair few of these games that we're going to see today. Next we got Need for Speed 2. Nice little racer, this one. And on these games we'll only take like 2 to 3 minutes looking at each one, just to give you a sense of just how well they play. There was certainly no input delay over Bluetooth using the Xbox controller, but of course you could just stick in a wired controller as well if you like, as long as it's USB-C compatible. I certainly do like the Need for Speed games. The courses seem to go on forever, don't they? There's lots of variety in them as well. Seem to remember having this one actually when I had a PlayStation 2 back in the day. But still, my favourite driving game is Outrun, which is about as old school as it gets, really, isn't it? I've got the police on my tail there. This is a great little shooter. I've been playing this one since the days of the arcade. This is Gradius. The PlayStation 2 version is particularly good. It's not massively difficult, which I actually enjoy because I don't like playing shooters which you just have to play them again and again and again and again just to know where the enemies are coming from. This one, this schmuck is yeah, it's good stuff, and I think they really pulled it off well with this edition of it. Now, my son's never really played these sorts of games before, I mean ever, so it took him a few attempts just to find the controls and what have you, and I had to explain that those are little power-ups, you've got to grab those. But he picked it up in the end. At least he's found the fire gun now. But we're not really showing it for the gameplay. I just want you to see just how smoothly this is running. I mean, it's just awesome. Absolutely fantastic. And good thing with Gradius, of course, you can just continue where you left off, which is great. Yes, brilliant stuff. Really, really great game, this one. I believe the app does do a little bit of upscaling, dependent on your hardware. This is probably at least twice the original resolution. Next we've got the verified PlayStation 2 Classic, or PlayStation Classic we should say. It wasn't just the PS2, but this and the PSP versions are particularly good. Ratchet and Clank.
Final step, attach robotic ignition system. Thank you for using help desk technology.
And it really is nice to see all this sort of full motion video and that playing so smoothly. I mean, probably better than on the actual hardware, where it would have been loading in off CD. So that goes on quite a bit, so we just jumped ahead to some of the gameplay here. As I said, I don't want to dwell too long. I just want to give you a demonstration of just how amazing this emulator is. When you think for, well, basically years we've been running Daemon PS2, and that's the paid app. And really the only way to get that one running any well was to buy it, basically, because the free version was just full of adware. So the fact that this is completely free is just amazing. And I think this will be the similar sort of performance once we get the Switch Deck, the Steam Deck rather, coming through to us. Not the Switch Deck, the Steam Deck, which is coming out as I film this late February. The first units are going to start to ship. I did order one and got my order confirmation 10 minutes after the order lines opened back in July last year, and mine is due sadly Q2, so it's going to be this first quarter. It now says Q2, so I'll be getting my Steam Deck anytime from April the 1st onwards, and you can rest assured that I'll be doing lots of retro content running on the Steam Deck on this channel. I'm certainly intending to do that. Here's one of my favourite franchises, in fact the only franchise I've ever played for downhill snowboarding, which is SSX3. And I first, the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox sort of came out around the same time, and I really was more in love with the Xbox than the PlayStation 2. A few of my friends had a PS2, but I loved the Xbox. But that's never really been emulated properly on an Android. We can sort of stream it from PC to Android, but we've not been able to emulate the Xbox yet. So this is a way to have that sort of original, for me, snowboarding experience that I had on the Xbox on my Android tablet, and it is a delight. Absolutely fantastic. I just love this. The courses are just about the right length, and when you start to get the hang of the controls, it really is a lot of fun. You can lose hours and hours playing this game, and just look how smooth it's running. It's great, isn't it? Got a nice draw distance. And a quick break here to thank my Patreon and channel member subscribers. Thank you very much, guys. So yes, another fighter. This is Tekken 5. So I put this one in because Sam played the original Tekkens on my Xbox, and we played them on the PSP as well, and PlayStation Vita. And these and Dead or Alive were the first sort of beat-em-ups that he ever played. I think for me it was the old Street Fighters, and that they were the first ones I ever played back in the days of the arcade. But on home console, the first one I went all the way through was Tekken 3 on the PlayStation 1, and I absolutely loved it. And this one's great as well. But I think, although I've not played this one through to the end, the story mode in Tekken 3 was fantastic, and it really did encourage you to go through right to the end, which I think some of these more modern beat-em-ups, they don't quite have the same pull story-wise. But absolutely no slowdown at all. The games are being emulated beautifully. I mean, just probably better than the originals, because they're not being read off CD. But anyway, back to what I was saying was, yeah, I did post a video a few months back with 3 recommended sites, and I will put a little for you to get PlayStation 2 games. I'll put a link to that one down below if you are struggling to find them online. But these are really good. They give you the history of the systems and consoles. You can look at the manuals and things like that. Yeah, well worth checking those sites out. And because we loved it so much, Sam wanted another quick bout, and I said, yeah, go on then, I'll have one more. We've done a completely different background this time, and this is quite interesting because the actual it's like it's supposed to be like fog, so you can't quite see as accurately as you normally would, but I think they pull it off really well, and you can definitely see the difference in the graphics there, how they've sort of mistied it up a bit. Once again, this was quite close, and he was quite annoyed that he got knocked out. Classic racing game, which Sam had never ever played, and I couldn't believe it. On Gran Turismo, I played them all when they were coming out, up to I think Gran Turismo 5. I actually own an old Audi TT, and we actually selected Audi, and we found my Audi TT. There we are, 3.2 Quattro, the exact car that I've got, and we even found my colour, which is like the Kingfisher blue. So Sam is playing in my car basically, so he couldn't believe it because my car is 20 years old. I think these are like modern classics, and I absolutely love them. And typical of Gran Turismo, there's loads of customization. We thought we'd have a little go around New York. It's not the greatest of tracks, but you know, with Gran Turismo you have to be so accurate. Well, that proved to be the case with this one, and it did take a little bit of practice for Sam to get the swing of it, but he got there in the end, once he'd figured out the controls. Just grateful he's not old enough to have a provisional license yet. I know it's quite an expensive phone to get, but I do work. My day job is working in the mobile phone industry, amongst other things, and I am quite lucky in that I get my choice of a new work phone every year, which does mean I can generally get ones with good retro gaming performance, such as this Fold here. But as I said, any phone with a Snapdragon 845 processor, you should be looking at pretty decent performance on this emulator. And now, a bona fide PlayStation classic, Wipeout. I'm sure you've all played a blast of Wipeout. I'm sure you've all played a bit of Wipeout, the futuristic racer. I've certainly loved it. I think the first time I really got into it was on the PlayStation Portable, the original PSP. Since then I've played it on a few different systems, and I really enjoy it. And it's a lot of fun on this, I can tell you. Sam likened it to the Star Wars pod race from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and he's not wrong. But I said, well, that was an N64 racer. But you know, the design of this particular track and the ships, it does look a bit like the pod race. It's one of those ones, because you have to go around a few laps, it does take a little bit of familiarity with the track, but once you've got it, you can really sort of maximise the boosts and stuff, and it's great fun. And there's enough other cars on the track to keep giving you targets to go and try and beat the next one, then the next one. And this definitely has that one more go vibe. But this is a really great way to see just how blisteringly fast the PlayStation 2 is running, the emulator is running. Very good indeed. So last game we're going to look at today is Guilty Gear X2, and it's another quite colourful little beat 'em up which Sam seemed to enjoy, and once again I left him playing this one. I said, look, you play it as long as you like. He started to get the bug for the app after this, and if you've enjoyed this video, if you've enjoyed just seeing me go through a few classic PlayStation 2 games, by all means hit that like button. Do please hit the subscribe button and leave some comments below. What games, if you'd like a follow-up to this sort of video where you see me testing out some of these PS2 games on my phone, leave a little list down below. If I can get a nice batch of say 10 more games together, I'll do it. I'll pull them together, I'll hunt them down online, and do my best to give you a similar video such as this with a bit more footage for you to enjoy. Now, if you've not got around to installing AetherSX2, the free PlayStation 2 app, on your own mobile phone, I have done a how-to guide where I go through it literally step by step, and there'll be a link to that at the end. I've also done a general emulation guide for the Samsung Fold Z3, so I'll put links to both of those at the end of this video and also in the description down below, amongst other things. But yeah, I do hope you have enjoyed today's video. It's certainly been a lot of fun putting it together and editing it. If you have enjoyed it, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching today, and I'll look forward to seeing you again very soon with another AetherSX2 PlayStation 2 emulation video. Bye.
ゲームセットだ。You win!